Michael Lidauer, you are part of the Election-Watch.eu. We've just had the elections. You've done an initial assessment. What were the main concerns that might have arisen?
Yeah, so we have done a comprehensive assessment. This was the first time that 65 citizens from across the EU, from all member states, have covered the European elections with an election assessment mission. And we have looked into specific aspects, in particular before election day, in the legal frameworks. We looked into campaign finance situations. We looked into social media regulation. We looked into the electoral participation of persons with disability, electoral calendar, voter registration, as we saw, was quite prominent, and of course we followed the political processes.
Are there general points that you would make in relation to all EU states? Are there particular problems that you saw across the board?
No, we have of course seen across the board that these campaigns were probably conducted more actively and more intensely than in the past. We could see that the campaigns in the member states are still very much coined by national issues, but they're more and more framed as European issues with a greater European dimension. And that was happening for the first time, and that we can see reflected in the turnout. Across the European Union, the turnout has risen to over 50%, which is a great sign of life, of democracy in Europe.
There were some problems reported. I don't know whether you've had the chance to look into them. Are there particular countries, or are there particular examples that you could highlight? One issue that was raised from the UK side, where a lot of EU 27 citizens did not get to vote. And there are some estimates that are quite impressive, maybe literally thousands.
Yes, so by now we know it's a significant number of EU citizens who wanted to vote in the UK that was probably affected by this. The UK election management bodies have already spoken on it. They have acknowledged that there was an issue. The problem as such is not new. It has also occurred in the past, but probably not on that scale. They have explained that due to Brexit dynamics, election preparations have started late, including information campaigns to European citizens of alerting them what they have to do to make sure that they are on the respective registers, and due to very late preparations, where the UK probably thought very much about their participation, but not so much about others participating, there were issues, as we heard.
That's one particular issue that appears to be more a mistake rather than a deliberate obstruction. In other countries, did you see problems that suggest that people were excluded from voting?
We get similar stories as we get them from the UK in isolated events, also from other countries where people cannot find themselves on the list. That we have no indication that that would occur on large scale, but we can see there is a situation where there is a double registration in several member states, which could potentially lead to double voting. We have not seen this occurring, but the situation of voter registration and data exchange for voter registration between the member states is certainly one that could be further looked into.